Years ago, I listened to a motivational speaker who was talking about the benefit of the work that he was doing for himself. And he said, it's very beneficial for me. And he wasn't just talking about money or gaining material assets, or, running a business, influencing lots of people. He said the most valuable part of running a coaching business, the most valuable part was when somebody told him that he had changed their life. When somebody came and said, thank you so much. What you've done, what you've said has changed my life. And I always remembered that. And as I started on this journey of coaching, I would often think about that myself and think, as I think about it and as the success happens and as people go through the course and program, I particularly love when people tell me that what I've taught, what I've done has changed their life. It's a wonderful thing to hear. So with that in mind, what I'm going to do today is share with you some of the testimonies that have come about as a result of the work that I've done. I've asked people from time to time, and people have just offered to give me testimonies of what changes have occurred in their life and how it's benefited them. And so I hope that you enjoy this. I'm going to go through and share with you some of the testimonies of people who have gone through the course and program that I run, similar to some of the material found in this podcast. And yet in the full paid course, in the membership area, there is so much more. And so if you'd like to listen to what they have to say, to learn from their experiences, I would encourage you to pay attention to what they did, what they learned, and how it's changed the trajectory of their lives.
That is my testimony, that I have found your courses to be very informational. And yeah, I think that you're right. It is a personal development journey. I made a note about that. I find myself taking copious notes. I think you present things very succinctly, and I do appreciate your notes that you take. That helps us to follow along. And I've also noticed that the people that are coming along on this have a real zeal to want to develop personally, and so lots of questions, and you're very good about answering those, and and your little jump up and down, it really speaks for itself. As a whole, as a society, we need more positivity in our life and in our brains to help us operate better and to help us feel better and
Yes.
Just live better. So
Okay, so I guess I've been coming along about 2 months now. This is like one of the most phenomenal courses I've ever seen anywhere. I think that you're a wonderful instructor for me personally. I think it's a gift to be able to continue on this journey and learn, and the areas that you've opened up. And I can't, every time I think about the classes, I'm excited and I'm very happy to get back to them. I'm in the middle of reading the Eckhart Tolle book and other things to just ask you questions here and there. I love the sessions. I love the study sessions. I just think it's awesome. And I just feel very blessed to have somehow found the course, because it feels so deeply like that phrase that when the student's ready, the teacher will appear. But I'm very particular about teachers. You're awesome. So I'm very happy, and I can't see where anyone can do anything but enjoy and move forward gratefully with this.
I love the gift exercise, as you know, and like Myra mentioned, I was in flow with the music, and what I was noticing is there was the past, present, and future. So I did actually think of the future goals. I saw myself as a child, like you had us initially talk about how I was playful and joyful, and there was the middle. Another thing that came up was this idea that I'm older than my parents when they had me. And so there was this compassionate, and now when you talked about having God's eternal perspective, that was above that, right? It goes beyond the family and this kind of compassion. So I found that the last part really helped to organize, and I can say consolidate the experience, and it just took me on an organized path, I would say. after having had you see what I'm saying, the past, present, and future reflection, that I'm older than my parents. I'm grateful for all the gifts and the contributions I want to continue to make. And then this last part that you shared kind of went it took it to another level. Thank you.
My mind was going to all of the happy memories, and because it's hard to go right back to those very early ones, but I had lots of really happy things come up, holidays, things around the farm, riding horses. It was lovely. And it was only when you did that last bit that I touched slightly on some negative things. And then the white light just was flowing out of me. That was great. Thank you.
Joshua, I wanted to give a testimonial. I have to say I was really skeptical when I joined the group because I thought, how could somebody organize all of this information and be able to present it coherently? And you did. I have been looking at other self-help programs, and it was pay your $15,000 and then you can log on and see if it works. And you're doing it the opposite way. You're saying, here's what I'm offering, and then if you like it, then go ahead and join, then go ahead and subscribe. So it made me feel very, very comfortable. And then the other thing is, I'm 65 years old. I have been going through self-help books since I could read. And it's so overwhelming. There's so many different ideas and topics, and I wasn't able to really retain anything from the books. And you have given me very specific tools to be able to remind myself, to be able to retain the information, to be able to work on it day after day after day, rather than just sort of floating with too many books in my head. So thank you. I really genuinely appreciate everything that you and this group are doing to help. Thank you.
Been in here about 6 months, and I found Joshua through the Meetup website. I was looking for spiritual self-help groups and just people who are working on personal growth and life progress in a way that worked for them on all levels. And Josh was the first one. I found him online, and it's like everything that I was looking for. So I've just totally everything he has, I've absorbed it, and it's been so maximally helpful. And I talk to people about it all the time. I'm using the tools. People are hearing about it left and right.
Yes, I'll be very brief. I just want to share that that cutting cord technique that we did a few weeks back, that was really helpful. I really enjoyed it a lot, and I think it's a very good technique.
Hi, everybody. My name is Michael. I'm in Ogden, Utah. So I came to Joshua's event because I'm into self-actualization, trying to improve myself. And I've researched a lot of self-help development courses. Mostly I haven't really paid for any of them. I've just seen them on YouTube and, free things. And what I found out is that it takes a long time just to get what you need from free stuff. So I found Josh on the meetup, and it was like everything that I wanted, because I think you teach the same techniques like Tony Robbins, and all of the personal development have the same techniques. And Tony Robbins is pretty expensive, because I went to his website, and that is really expensive. But I found Josh, and I think he teaches the same thing. Everything's condensed and at a good price. And if you want to, I felt like I needed to get a fast track. I needed a mentor. So basically that's why I chose Josh. That's why I'm here.
And I joined these seminars. Sometimes I can't do 4 hours, but with the recording, you can break it into 1 hour increments during the week. It's not as fun because you're not there with everybody at the moment, but it gives you all the information you need to do. Like when you're doing one of these exercises that Joshua takes you through, you can go through it on your own on a recording if you're not online with them that day. And I just feel like this is information that nobody can teach you. But Josh has the experience and the knowledge to impart this information in a way that you can really get it and start working with it right away.
I had a one-on-one strategy call with Josh. And when I tell you, that cleared me up from exactly whatever it was that was blocking me. Literally within 24 hours of me doing my clearing call with Josh, I sold my first book in 24 hours. And when I tell you the excitement that I felt when I did that, man, see all that jumping around Josh makes us do, that was me for the rest of the evening. So when I tell you, I'm just excited to be here. Now I'm coaching with Josh on a one-on-one basis. And I love coming to these group sessions because it really gives me, I want to say a refresher. It really helps me stay connected and keep moving and keep pushing forward. Because, life gets in the way every day. And it's just about how we, how we react to it, right? That's something very important that I make sure, people tell me I'm always so pleasant and happy. And I'm like, yeah, like, why not? Who cares what else is happening around you? Things are going to happen every day. It's just how you react to it. So when I tell you, I'm so grateful for Josh and everything that he is doing here. And I think he's phenomenal. And I'm not just saying that, you guys. It's just a feeling that I have every day.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Nita, and I live in Melbourne. On the 18th of October, which was last week, I attended an emotional clearing technique session that Joshua was hosting, just like this, something like this, via Zoom. And at the end of that session, Joshua kindly offered a free discovery callback session. And I took him up on that offer. So Joshua called me back and we spoke. And the reason I was calling him was for help with somebody else, somebody who was very dear to me. And after Joshua had guided me through that process, he asked me how I was feeling. And I said, I've got a lot of health issues, one particular thing that bothers me a lot, but I would come back to him when I was more financially able to deal with that situation and to call on his help. But Joshua was quite insistent. He wanted to know what the problem was. So I proceeded to tell him that I've got to develop these terrible, terrible, painful lumps on my legs during COVID, and that they have stayed with me and are terribly painful. But I would deal with that at another time. Joshua then was very insistent. He asked me if I could work on a small healing session with me. It was an offer I very, very gratefully accepted. So he said the only prerequisite to that was to be open, trusting, and childlike, and enjoy it like a child would enjoy a game with curiosity. I was more than open for that. So Joshua then guided me and led me through this healing process. He asked me to close my eyes and to use both my hands and extract. Imagine I was extracting the pain from those terrible, painful lumps, and to gather it all together in a ball and identify and associate a color with it, which I did. He then also asked me to call on a strength that I could identify with through this healing process and while he worked with me. And I called on Jesus, Jesus Christ was my healer and mediator, while Joshua worked on this process with me. And literally, we took this ball of pain, of purple pain, and Joshua guided me through a process of re-energizing, cleansing that pain first, taking that pain away from that, taking all that sickness away from that ball of pain, which then turned into another color. And while he worked with me through this healing process, guiding and instructing me, the ball not only changed color, but it got re-energized, totally re-energized. And then he guided me and instructed me to put that re-energized new ball back into my legs, which I did. And then we just took a moment and sat very peacefully and closed. My eyes were still closed. And then Joshua then asked me to open my eyes and asked me how I was feeling. And I was a bit mind blown by then. But then he then asked me to touch my lumps. And I was a little reluctant to do that. I didn't know what to expect. But when I touched the lumps, I was shocked, absolutely gobsmacked to find for the first time in 3 years, there was no pain in those lumps. I had to touch them again and again and again to make sure I wasn't imagining. Yeah. And I did that day before, and I did that yesterday, and I've done that this morning again. And I'm just so grateful. I can't believe that something that I've suffered and endured such painful lumps in my legs. The lumps are there, but the pain has all left me. Pain has completely gone. And I just give thanks and praise for that. I thank my mediator, Jesus, my healer. And I thank Joshua so much from the bottom of my heart for taking that time and trouble to go through that process with me. I really am so grateful. And I just felt that I had to come and share this testimony with everyone.
Immediately, I'm thinking of the last 6 months of my life, how this very active reflection on life, what I've been through, where I was at the time, and where I wanted to be. I took a more, like, I kind of stepped back from my life and looked at it more big picture, and seeing how it was. I knew I wanted it to be different, and I knew I was ready to step into the role I'm meant to be doing here. And so I found Josh. We actually have nearly the same middle name as well. He's Roy, I'm Ray, and it was a perfect match. I couldn't have asked for a better teacher, and just so all the tools he's shared have been helpful, but the one that I'm thinking of for this prompt here is the one about seeing yourself going on the downward path, and the one seeing yourself on the upward path in a year, and in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, if you continue on the upward or the downward path. And I just knew that was such a good one for me. So, like, really sitting in the energy of that, it helped shift in me in a very deep level how I was feeling about myself, about what had been happening to me that I didn't like. And it just helped me reframe in a lot of ways, like how I talk to myself internally, and how I feel on a day-to-day level. So it just, I don't know, it changed in me something, so that now I check in on my motivation, I check in on my energy. I more quickly am able to attune to what my needs are at any time.
Hi, everybody. First of all, I just want to say I'm very, very, very pleased with this program. I started looking on meetup group based on what my friends were telling me, because I was working on myself. I've been going through a lot of hardship in my last 4 years. My ex-husband at the time, he wasn't my ex, he was very emotionally abusive, and then we got divorced, and as soon as divorce was finalized, he got cancer, and then he died 2 years after. And I have 2 kids. They were like minors at the time. So that whole 4 years and then there was COVID and all that other stuff. So these 4 years were really tough for me. I started reading and doing a lot of things on my own, and I did improve a lot. I have to be honest. Like, I got, I think, like, the base, but I didn't go out, I didn't communicate. And my friends were like, why don't you just, go online and find more people like you? And the first day that I went, I actually put, what you like, and Joshua popped up. And I signed up for one voluntary class, and in that day I signed up. It's something to work on your own, but the result I have gotten on my own in 4 years are like 1/10 of what I have improved. So it hasn't even been full 6 months. And what I wanted to do, my goal was to put my life on track, which means, like, yes, I was doing all these other things and I was working on myself, but my main focus was decluttering my life, my mind, my house, my family, my toxic relationships. Josh and I actually talked about it. Like, I have a very good friend that I work with. She got me the job. It's an amazing job, but like, even with her, it was hard to deal with. We worked on that one-on-one with Josh. So in reality, again, I can go on and on. So many things in my life has developed, has gotten better. I've gotten back into working out. I was like a gym rat before. I was really healthy. I have lost over 10 pounds. I am really fit. My muscles are coming back. I have a very fit diet, and I'm taking supplements. I do meditate. And I think all this stuff is helping. I don't know exactly what it is that popped up, but it was just like your guidance that made me focus on what's important for me and what, like I don't know what happened. Like it seems like I was all over the place and you just like, I controlled it with your help and I like focused on exactly what I want. And my house, there was a lot of projects, decluttering, I took care of it. My house is done, my front yard, backyard. I have gotten rid of very comfortably without confrontation a lot of people that we were kind of growing apart, and it's okay. And meanwhile, talking to Joshua right at the beginning, I hurt my back. I was bed rest. I was on the floor. So I had to work from home. And that's exactly when that was like the second session that I did that. And it was really bad. And I thought, oh my gosh, I can't do anything. And actually this weekend, I'm going to a trip that's very physically adventurous activity. We're doing kayaking, all that stuff. And my goal was to get physically back to being in shape. That happened. Like I wake up, like right now, I have no pain. There was a time that I hurt my back years ago and it took me like a couple of years. And I was like, I don't want to do that. But all this stuff was with Joshua's help, I don't know, meditation or however guided meditation and all that stuff. I can go on and on. The amount of things that has changed in my life the last 6 months, but it's almost everything that I wanted. So, and I'm sure there's a lot more that I want because to me, this is a gold mine. So now I don't want to let go of it. So there's that. I love it, but I've been very committed. I show up. I do work on my own. I listen to these seminars, these videos that you sent us. Like if I'm at the gym, I'm listening to them. I'm at home doing gardening and I'm listening to them. I'm constantly, that helps me focus, being here every week. So I honestly suggest being persistent and not giving up.
Hi, I am Carla and I live in Texas, the United States, and I have learned so much with these webinars, how things were beforehand. I carried a lot of bitterness and resentment and anger, animosity, the list goes on in regards to my most recent divorce. And I was stuck in the mind part. I wanted to forgive him. I just didn't know how to put it from the mind to the heart. And what I learned through this is to be able to tap into my unconscious level, the subconscious level, and to be able to envision what Joshua always talks about is to just take us to a certain place and walk us through it. It released something within me that was so beautiful, to where it just finally connected. The rewiring, something happened to where there was no break in the wiring. This time it was new wiring, and I was able to forgive my ex-husband for everything. And the unforgiveness, the bitterness, the anger, the rage, all of that, literally, as soon as I said, I forgive you, as soon as it reached my heart, that all went out the window in regards to the negative emotions. And what entered was compassion, agape love, acceptance, the forgiveness, of course. Just there's so much that just came flowing inside of my heart that it freed me. It freed me of the prison that I had put myself into. And I realized that I had no one to blame but myself in regards to just staying in there. And I before coming to these webinars and having Joshua as my life coach, I felt trapped. I felt stuck, but I don't feel that anymore. And how things are now is I'll say it again, I am free. I am not trapped in those negative emotions anymore. I feel a change even physically. I can breathe better. I can think better. I can think more clearly. Those negative emotions are no longer consuming my mind. And it's been a beautiful experience, and I recommend it for everybody. We're all dealing with something, in some area in our lives. And I highly recommend this webinar for everybody, because you will see yourself being freed of something in your life that you're struggling with. To be honest with you, we're all struggling with something, whether it's health, whether it's grieving a loved one, whether it's divorce. You and I share this. I didn't realize it until this last webinar, but a drug addicted child, whether they're younger or older, or everybody needs this. I don't know who wouldn't benefit from this in some way. I don't. Every category, everybody. That's how I see it, because you cover such a wide array of topics that we all benefit. We all benefit. I think everybody should sign up and see what's on the other side. Because like me, there are a lot of people that are stuck in some way or another, whether it's, again, health, whatever it is. I'm not the only one who was stuck. We all deserve freedom. We all deserve freedom. And we just need to tap into these webinars and into what it is that you offer in order to achieve that. It's achievable. I mean, never in a million years would I have thought, or from the mind to the heart, I didn't, honestly, I didn't think it was possible. I would always ask, how do I forgive? How do I, and I was told it's so simple. Well, but how do you do it? And these webinars have the key. It's really not that hard. It's simple, but the way you step by step go through everything, I think, wow, it's so simple. I mean, he lays it out right there, and look, here's the freedom. This is what I was needing for so long. It's where, again, my wires were not fully connecting, and you helped. I just see your two hands, and you're just, here you go. Here, you're connected, and there you go. It works. It works. So I can't say enough. I really can't. I am so excited about this year and learning so much more. And everybody needs to do this. Everybody throughout the world. We all need these webinars. I have no doubt in my mind. There's freedom to be had. There's so much to be had. And we just need to, again, I'll say it again, take the leap and just do it. For me, I took the leap of faith and just said, okay, I'm going to do this. We'll see how it goes. I'm hoping, but I've always thought that the leap was going to be the Grand Canyon going all the way down, and it's going to be scary. But what I learned is, oh, wow, I have wings to fly. I'm not going to crash and that's it. I mean, there's, again, I think of, the wings. I mean, the birds, they look so free. They can go anywhere they want to go. And that's how I feel now. Honestly, I feel so free and light. I feel light. I don't feel so heavy anymore. It's just a beautiful thing. It really is. So I'll give a little bit of a background. When I first got on here, I thought to myself, well, I think this is, this sounds great. He's very enthusiastic. I've learned so much, but now he's asking for money. Oh boy. Well, I'll just mention my profession is being a financial crimes investigator. I go after the scammers. I'm very passionate about that. So at first I thought, okay, should I do it? Should I do it? And something within me said, go for it. Take that leap. So I did. And at first I kind of tested Joshua by saying, hey, can you send me links to your webinars? And I thought, well, if he doesn't, and he pretty much ghosts me, then, oh boy, he ran with my money. But he immediately responded, immediately sent links to a ton of webinars, is interactive with me, and definitely has not run away with my money. Actually, you know, every penny is well worth it, and it is extremely economical compared to what is out there. um, uh, Other alternative ways. I don't, I'll just give a little bit of a background. I went to a counselor several times and I got nothing, just except for less money in my bank account. And what made me just say, let's do this is knowing, I knew somewhere deep inside that you had the tools that I needed, that I could not, honestly, I've read books, I've watched videos, I've done everything under the sun, and nothing really registered for me. And the interactive engagement that I've had, the group sessions, just for me, what made me do it is because I wanted that freedom. I wanted the tools, and I knew that, Joshua, I knew you had them. And just from the initial introductory webinar, I thought, this man has what I need. I just knew. And for me, it was a no-brainer that I just needed to just do it. And I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful that I did it.